My fellow Liberians, market women, young boys, pem drivers, Fulanis, Mandingos, and Kisi people. It was not by our own choosing that we became Liberians, but by divine providence and insight. And as such, with divine protection, we dare to exercise our First Amendment rights and take back the freedom of speech. This right here, my people, is a media takeover. Welcome to Catch22, and you're free to speak. Welcome to Catch22. I'm your host, Natty Scolo. This is an interactive web-based news program where we're going to be discussing current events, events over the last week going on in the West African diaspora and particularly Liberia. And we encourage you to give us your feedback and watch the program with us. And as I said, we're going to be discussing mostly Liberia, and we're trying to find out. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the program. Liberia currently has a female president in Her Excellency, the Honorable, great politician, Ms. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And she's been in power. This is her second term, actually. It just began in January of this year. So she has 6 terms. So we have another election coming up in 2017. However, her party, the UP, doesn't seem to have anybody that will be replacing Ellen that has the kind of clout that she has. The Liberian people have been watching. This is the second term, and this UP government has nobody that anybody in Liberia would say could stand up against the machinery of a party like the CDC, which is the party that was formed by the soccer star George Weah. And as is Liberian politics, most of these parties are based on the personalities of individuals. Not too many political parties in Liberia have strong ideals that hold the party together versus the magnetism of their standard bearer. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, strong Liberian politician for the longest. Actually, honestly, despite the fact that I believe that this UP government is a failed government, I still think she's one of my favorite Liberian politicians from the grassroots movements era, because she was there, went to jail, you know, she was that radical until she became the system. This party has not produced somebody that solid. We hear rumors of Varney Sherman. He's the party chairman. Hey, a few weeks ago, Varney Sherman was accused of being a rabble-rouser, encouraging the people to ask for Her Excellency to resign because, you know, partisans weren't getting the jobs they thought they were entitled. The next person the UP I mean, it's being rumored that the UP has to run for this office is Dr. Tokpa McIntosh Getawe. I think that's his name, Tokpa McIntosh Getawe. He's the current vice chairman of ECOWAS or something like that. Now, he's been around. He's had good positions in government and public policies, decision-making boards. But, see, the Liberian people would like to know you a little better. The question to you is, do you think that this Liberian government has done what it takes? We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We're going to be inviting people over the course of this program to come onto the program and defend their positions and speak as to what they think are the successes of this government and what they think are the failures. The only other thing that I've seen is the maintaining of Mary Braw as mayor of the city of Monrovia. Yeah, I know she doesn't have the most orthodox methods of reshaping Monrovia, but you know what? Monrovia needs some order. This is our nation's capital. It's our largest city. It's our most modern city. It's our most sophisticated city. And the truth is, Monrovia is anything but sophisticated. And Mary Braw comes in and she's trying to introduce these ordinances. That's something we're not too used to, you know, as is the method in Liberia. A lot of times we try to put the cart before the horse. So, you know, we just move on with business as usual and not trying to put in place those structures that would help the smooth operation in the future. So that, like with the police, when the new guy comes in, he's not bringing everything new. There's something old that he can continue to work with. Chief Massacre comes into the police. He's taking over from Amblard. I don't know. I was in Monrovia and I watched an interview with Chief Amblard. Take a look at the interview. Take a look at the interview. Former Police Chief Amblard.
Mr. Director, what is this we're hearing about the people then, your police people then, not responding when the people then call you to the 911 call yet?
On diabetes.
Either they will not come
up,
or they will be late
powder.
coming. Why not? Please, I beg you explain.
According to the contract we have with the cell phone companies, they will provide these 911 relay services for us to help us to respond adequately to people in distress. Now, our response is of twofold. If we can't apprehend, or if we can't prevent the crime, we try to apprehend the crime. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building checkpoints in different areas and different zones. So that no, it's diabetes powder. I have diabetes. That is one guy that, in my opinion, understood police sciences just from listening to him and from my, you know, very limited experience with the police business. I know that Chief Amblard, from the way he answered the questions in an interview in Monrovia, he was very knowledgeable of police sciences and he knew the stuff. But Liberians aren't used to that soft-tuned type of leadership in the police. They're like the aggressive ones. You know, we loved Joe Tate. Everybody that was there when Joe Tate was police director will tell you they loved Joe Tate. Man, the guy crowded the streets when he died. You know, there were people everywhere crying for Joe Tate. Because you know what? Those were terrible times when armed robbery and all kinds of crimes were at its peak, and he managed to curb it. He managed to cut it down. His methods, like Mary Braw's, may not have been the best, but they worked. They helped at the time. And those were the kind of times that required the kind of methods that they used. And maybe that's the same thing with Mary Braw. And she's going to do what she's going to continue to do over there in Monrovia. And I think she's going to make Monrovia a better place. It's about discussing those issues in Liberia that normally we will feel hampered or feel unable to discuss just because we are afraid for, you know, our well-being. And we're going to get into those stories later on about how you can get handled in Liberia. Moving forward. Violence away. Let's move forward. Moving forward, there really is not too much going on in Liberia. I can tell you that there's not much going on in Liberia just by the fact that when you pull up the newspapers and you look at the news through the week, some of the biggest news that happened, and this is based on you know, a popular Liberian newspaper, what is it, The Diplomat or something like that. They had stories where the Gender and Development Ministry attributes the rise in prostitution to poverty. My people, I mean, you know, excuse me, but for a long time there, I thought those girls just liked being prostitutes. I had no idea that it was because they were poor. What are you talking about? That's no new discovery. What are you people doing over there? What are you doing? Where they do that at? I mean, come on. You go ahead and you say, oh, I just figured out why the people in Liberia, a lot of the young girls are going to prostitution. It's not because they like prostitution. It's because they're poor and men will pay for sex. Seriously? We didn't know that? We spent research money on that? And if we didn't spend research money on it, and if we didn't spend research time on it, why are we hearing about this now? Here we go on with the no news situation in Liberia. Basically, we'll come down to where we have two lawmakers in Liberia last week. Two lawmakers are having a serious fight over a dead person. One of the lawmakers, you know, the gentleman Bani, he's from Riverside County, was trying to bury his wife. Well, the news says his wife, and she carries his name, his wife, and his relatives, I mean, but her relatives are saying, no, this guy didn't marry this woman, so he can't bury her. But she has his kids. She carries his name. Even some of the relatives who are saying he didn't marry her are calling her his wife because she was one of many. And now they're saying he can't bury her unless he marries the dead woman. Where they do that at? Well, apparently they do that in the Bassa community. That's what they're saying. I didn't write the news. You see, don't get mad at me. Don't shoot me. You know, I didn't write the news. But they're saying that in the Bassa community, it's their tradition that you have to marry the woman. You can't just have children with her. So the rumor is that we're seeing a lot of single Bassa women now, because all of a sudden people from other tribes realize this, and they're not trying to marry no dead person. Yeah, I ain't marry you while you were living. I'm not going to marry you while you're dead. I'm sorry. That's not happening. And I don't think our Constitution, you know, forces anybody to do that. I mean, where'd they do that at? You know? So, but anyway, that's what's been going on, and so, you know, I'm not going to discriminate against the Bassas. And our Facebook friend of the week is none other but the UP strong supporter, Mr. Gio Nimba Boy. That boy and his UP party. I can't say anything, but he does deliver to us this Facebook status that quotes a Bassa parable. And that Bassa parable reads, according to him, to a poor man, pleasure is foolishness. I'm Natty Skolo, and you've been watching Catch 22.